Pastor David here again from Pelham, Alabama, and you got it. Another fish story. You're going to have to put up with me one more time. You ever use the word un problema? Well, when I run into a bad place, un problema is a good word to use. I've got a problem. The other day we were out here fishing, and the problem was this, and this is a huge problem. We broke the little sliver in our shaft that caused our trolling motor to stop working. We were way back there on the far end of the lake. Un problema. Now think about life for just a little bit. How many times are you up against your own un problema? Maybe you're just giving it all you have to live life. You feel like that you're being faithful in your walk with the Lord. Maybe it's in finances. You're trying to be faithful, a good steward of the finances that God has entrusted to you. And it seems like at the end of the month, there's just not enough money to pay the bills. Maybe it's someone that you're trying to love in a relationship, and you feel like you're just giving it your all, constantly just trying to put your best foot forward. You're trying to even be intentional in your love for them, and it seems like it's always blowing up in your face. It's not working out in the way that you envision it to, and you're just giving it your all, and you're tired. Un problema. Time and time again. Maybe you've set goals to read the Word of God and to pray, and you find yourself falling back into old habits. Your feet hit the floor and you're just going for it in life. Your own un problema. So just like me on the lake, so far away from where our car is parked and where we have to dock the boat. Let me tell you what I always do whenever that happens to me, and I want to tell you right now, no, I'm not as dumb as I look. It doesn't happen all the time, but it has happened a couple of times, and I have learned what I do. Now, you've seen this lure before if you've been watching these videos. What I'll often do when I get into a bind like that is I put on a bomber like this, and what that means is it's going to dive deeper into the water, and so as it dives deep into the water, as I reel it in, there's a lot of force because it's pulling the bait down. That also allows the boat to propel forward. That's good news. And so I usually get on the front of the boat where I'm sitting right now. I'll stand up, I'll face in that direction, and I'll just continuously throw this bomber out there because I'm trying to create some propulsion so that we can get back to the car as we finish our day fishing. Sorry, mosquitoes are starting to get me. I'm in Alabama, not in California. And I just want to think that there's an analogy about this in life, because the other day when I started doing that, it was just hot out here. I mean, just so hot. And we were in the middle of the lake, there's no protection, sun, and so I start throwing this thing, trying to pull our boat back to where we can finally get off the boat, get some water, get some rest. And all of a sudden, you know what happened? I started throwing this in water simply to pull the boat, and the fish started hitting it. And I was catching one, catching another, lost a big one. My brother, who is my guide, is not letting me forget that. But I just kept throwing this thing, and it was pulling us closer to shore, and I was also being rewarded with good fish. Now, I tied this on to pull me back to the bank, and in that un problema, as I just tried to be faithful and continued to do what I need to do in order to get the boat back, all of a sudden I started receiving a blessing from that. Think about all the scriptures I can quote right now. Be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Think about, don't grow weary in doing good, especially to those who are in the household of faith. Think about Hebrews 11, going into Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. Consider the great cloud of witnesses, and let's run that race that's in front of us. Again, a lure designed to catch fish, but I was going to use it to pull me back to where my car was parked. And all of a sudden I received a blessing simply by hanging in there and going through it. So here's my word for you today. Hang in there with those things that you're doing. Hang in there in being faithful to the Lord. You never know how that un problema is going to turn out to a blessing for you. So I hope this fish story encourages you to stay the course. I love to say that. Stay the course. Let's be faithful. You never know what reward awaits us.